Welcome to Master Bees Theater. I'm your host, some guy you don't know. Today's episode, the introduction of bees to their new hive. Welcome to a beautiful New England spring day, where today we're going to introduce our 3-pound package of bees into a brand new hive. And we'll start today by showing you different parts of the hive that we have, and then going into the introduction of the bees. So without delay, let's start looking at the hive. Okay, here we have a bottom board, and I've modified this bottom board slightly to include the back that comes off, and it has a white plastic sheet that has got 1-inch squares on it for your mite counts. And then on top of that we have our IPM, or Integrated Pest Management, basically just a screen, a bottom board. And we have the entrance reducer, which is very important when you have a new colony to restrict the hive opening. Here we have our first deep super, and it's a 10-frame deep super. And you'll notice that I've also put on there the year. Every 2 years every year you should replace 2 frames, so that in every 5 years you've replaced your entire set of frames, which helps to eliminate the buildup of pesticides and other nasty things that you really don't want in your bees, or your honey, or you for that matter. So we're going to start by taking out 2 frames. These are still good. We're just going to put these aside so that we have room to put in the queen cage. And then once the queen has been released, we'll take out her empty cage and we'll put those 2 frames back. So right now we've just got 8 frames in here, and we're going to go in next, and we're going to take apart the remaining part of the hive. Here we have the inside cover, and I don't know if you can see, but there is some cinnamon that is on top there, and it's supposed to keep the ants from getting in and eating the honey. It's a natural approach to pest control, which is a great idea. And we've also got a second deep frame, which will be used to protect the feeder. And this is basically just a quail feeder with sugar water and an antibiotic in it to get the bees acclimated into their new home and ready to start foraging on their own. And we've also got the bees. And here we have a 3-pound package of Italian bees, and it's featuring a queen bee called Marguerite the First, who is well, Google it, you'll find out. She's a Italian queen. And you can see there's a nice big cluster of bees in there, and put that aside just for a moment as we get ourselves ready to introduce the bees. So we're going to start now by putting this empty frame up on top, and the reason we put that on there is to give protection to the quail feeder that has the sugar water in there with the antibiotic inside of it. The antibiotic breaks down when you expose it to sunlight. We'll put the hive reducing and the entrance reducer in, and make sure that that's in good, that the supers are lined up, and now we're going to start with our bees. What I've got here is a mixture of sugar, equal part of sugar and water, and you spray it on there, and it gives the bees, it makes them a little sticky so they won't fly all over the place, and they gorge on the honey and they enjoy it. Or they gorge on the sugar, and they enjoy it, and it keeps them calm during this whole process. So we'll spray it on them really good, making sure that we don't drown the bees. And it just helps keep them calm. Again, it's just sugar and water. You can already see that the bees are calming down. They're not buzzing as loudly. You can also get a chip brush and just paint it on the outside of the cage, and it'll do the same thing as the bees will try to soak up or eat the sugar water. It's real important to provide food for your bees until they can go out and forage on their own, which is why we have the quail feeder that has the sugar water solution in it, along with some antibiotic. It's only necessary to do the antibiotic the first time. And then after that, they should be fine. So we're going to take off the top piece here. There's just 4 little staples holding on this square of wood. As we take it off, you'll see that there's a strap that's attached to the queen cage, and that runs underneath the can of syrup that they include to feed the bees during their transit up from Georgia. As we pull out the old staples, we'll get the can. You have to pull the can up in order to get the queen cage, but don't let go of the queen cage, otherwise it'll drop in your bees and you have to put your hand inside to pull it out. So you hold on to the tab with one and you pull the can up. Cage a couple of taps. I'll drop the bees. You see the mass of bees is all falling down to the bottom. It doesn't look good, but it really doesn't hurt the bees at all. Okay, so let's pull this feeding can out. Careful not to squish any bees in the process. And here we go. And you see I have the queen cage. You put that can back in again, and that'll keep the bees from escaping. Don't be too alarmed if a few bees get out. They're not going too far. As long as they can smell that queen, they're going to stay right with her. And let's look and see. Make sure the queen is still alive. And there she is. She's got a nice bright blue dot on her back. This is 2010. The color is blue. And she's got 4 nurse bees that are in there with her. There's, if you'll notice, on one end, there's a cork that's used to get the queen into her cage, and on the other end is the cork that goes into the sugar. It's almost like a frosting type of sugar. It's almost a fondant, if you will, that is at the end, and I'll poke a little hole in it to kind of give the queen her start and give her a head start on getting out so she can join the rest of the clan, start making more bees to make more honey. There we go. Okay. I can just get this foolish cork out of there. We'll be all set. Okay. Now we'll just make that hole to get things started.